This is Mark Zuma, former voice of the Philadelphia 76ers, here to welcome you to the Sixers Standard. And now here are your hosts, Ethan Koppelman and Noah Movsowitz.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Sixers Standard podcast. We have a great episode for you guys today. We have a story, we have trade machine, we have trivia, tidbits, buy or sell. We have a whole lot of stuff for you guys today. I'm Noah Moswitz, here with Ethan Koppelman. Ethan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We saw all the comments on the Instagram, and you know what? Noah's the host, and we expect this to be your guys' favorite show of all time now.
Yes, sir.
Rotate this hosting position. Again, kind of a quiet week, but it's going to be a great episode.
Yeah. So we just wanted, the comments said for me the host, and I'm hosting. So we're going to get into our first segment, and Ethan, you are going to explain what that is.
So it has just happened out of nowhere that Joe Tsai, Sean Marks, Steve Nash, and Kevin Durrant had a meeting, and apparently Kevin Durrant's staying in Brooklyn. And he wants to stay in Brooklyn. Now, I don't know about you, Noah, but when I read this report, nothing changed, right? Nothing changed. We know that Kevin Durant's still unhappy in Brooklyn, but let's look at the reality of the situation here. Let's look at the facts of the situation. Kevin Durant has 4 years left on his contract. So do you know what the Nets probably said? Yeah, and this is my theory right here. They just said, we're not trading you. There's no discussion. We don't have to trade you, and we're not going to trade you. It's not going to happen. Make us.
Yeah.
Because in reality, as much power as stars wield, or as much power as they're perceived to wield, they don't, right? Because at the end of the day, they're under contract. So the Nets said, you can make the best of the situation here. You can sit out while you're 34 years old and really sit out the rest of your career. And I don't think that Kevin Durant's happy in Brooklyn, and I still think the situation's much of a mess, but credit to the Brooklyn Nets. And as a Sixers fan, again, this doesn't make me happy, but as a basketball fan, this is great because now players just can't do this. They can't just not respect their contracts. And I guess the Nets ownership really stood up to Durant here. So I think I'm really happy based on the move, and the organization's still kind of in shambles, and there's going to be a lot of drama this year surrounding them, but I think overall the Nets made the right move with the situation.
Yeah, going off what you said, Durant's under contract for 4 years. No way in hell they're going to trade him. He's one of the best players in the world. You can't just trade a guy like that. And I give credit to the Nets ownership. Joe and Steve Marks are standing up to Durant, because I don't think players should be able to control a franchise. It's a GM shop. That's why they hire general managers in this league. But give them credit. As a Sixers fan, I wish we had him, but we get Maxey. That kid's really good. But to the whole NBA, they're probably really mad because maybe Boston wanted him, maybe all these teams wanted him. But you're gonna have to suck up with the team you have, and Durant's off the table, and Tyrese Maxey's off the table.
Yeah, I mean, any team that was going to get Durant was going to pay at least half their team. And to be honest, there's a lot of teams that were interested in Kevin Durant, but I don't think there's a lot of teams that are interested in trading half their team. So that's, I guess, what it came down to. If there were teams jumping at them with offers and they gave the Nets what they wanted, I have no doubt that he would be traded if the Nets got what they want. But at the end of the day, they're not going to get what they want because what they're asking is crazy.
Yeah. They're asking, a good player. They're also asking for a lot of picks and just good role players, and also a good young player. That's what they wanted. They didn't get it. I think the best offer was Jaylen Brown and picks and maybe 2 other role players, but they declined. And no one's getting him. He's 34 years old. It's good that he's staying in Brooklyn. It's good the Nets ownership really stuck up to him. Any final thoughts on this Durant staying in Brooklyn?
Yeah, again, I think it would be really stupid for the Nets, who just traded a first-round pick for Royce O'Neal, by the way. When that happened, by the way, I think the Nets knew they weren't trading him, because there's no way that they're trading a first-round pick for Royce O'Neal and then saying after that, you know what, we're going to suck and have the Jazz have a first-round pick. What would be really bad for the Nets is if they were a bad organization and they would get first round picks, right? But they wouldn't have their own first round picks. There's no point of being a bad or rebuilding organization when you have traded all your first round picks unprotected. It makes no sense, right? Then you're losing all your first round picks that are landing 1, 2, 3 overall. That's not a good thing. So at the end of the day, the Nets are saying there's no point of us not to contend, right? Jaylen Brown is a nice young player, but we don't need nice young players. What we need right now is to contend right now. We want our picks to be as low as possible because we don't have them anyway. So I think that, they're kind of handcuffed, but they did what any good team should do.
Yep. Give him credit. So now we're going to move into our next segment, and it is the trade machine. We haven't done this. We've done this in previous episodes, but that was a while ago, but we haven't done this recently. Ethan has a trade. He's going to explain it. Let's get to it.
So, no, I do want to get your thoughts on this trade. It's not too complicated of a trade. I didn't want to do something too flashy because the Sixers aren't doing something flashy right now. There's been really not much rumor. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of depth at the shooting guard and small forward position. So I could see something like this happening, kind of a consolidation trade. So the Sixers in this case would be trading Furkan Korkmaz and Matisse Thybulle. And in return, it would be getting Reggie Bullock. Of course, Bullock, a good defender, a good shooter, somebody that could very well get rotational minutes. Korkmaz was unplayable last year. And if Thybulle becomes the odd man out, then he could see himself getting traded to Dallas. Your thoughts, Noah?
I think I like the trade. I think Reggie Bullock, he can play defense, he can shoot the ball. I think he shot 38% from the 3-point line last season and was a key part in helping the Mavericks go to the Western Conference Finals. He's just a type of players you need. You need 3-and-D players, guys who can shoot the free and guys who can defend at elite level. I think he can, and he'll definitely be a good backup, small forward, I believe. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's better than Danny Green, and Danny
Yeah.
Green was starting for us. I think he would be a good fit here. I don't really want to give up Thybulle because I do think that while he is atrocious and miserable to watch offensively, Reggie Bullock is nowhere close to the defender that Matisse Thybulle is. And
Yeah.
there's not really many people that do what he does. And his skill set is just so unique. The aggression he has on defense, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
he has aggression, but he also uses that aggression and is so aggressive because he has talent, right?
Yeah.
That's what comes with the aggression. So I don't know. I feel like if we're really in a crunch for space, this could be something that you do, but also at the same time, I would not love to lose Thybulle.
Yeah. And yeah, just who knows? Maybe Matisse Thybulle learns how to shoot the ball. If he can shoot the ball at least league average, we have to keep him. That's no question about it. If he shoots at least 36% from free, he's got to be kept. And that's league average. That's league average.
36%.
It's bad.
8%. Well, that's not bad. 36% is great. He's at that's another 8 percentage points he has to gain.
Yep. But if he's been working on this shooting, there's no question he's not getting traded for a Reggie Bullock. He's going to have to be traded for someone better than Reggie Bullock. Any final thoughts on the trade you propose?
I think we can move on.
All right, let's move on. So now we're going to do buy and sell. So Ethan is the National and I am the Sixers. I will get started. All right, Ethan. Tyrese Maxey will average more points than James Harden this season.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to sell only because I'm in a good mood and I'm very hopeful that James Harden gets back to old form. I think that what we saw last season during the playoffs was merely that Tyrese Maxey had the hot hand. And don't get me wrong, he's going to develop and become a really good player. But I think that he had the hot hand, and that's why he was getting the ball so more, and James Harden didn't. I think once James Harden has a full regular season, and maybe he's not, as efficient, with the ball, but at the same time, I think he's going to get more opportunities. So I'm going to say Harden. So I'll sell.
Yeah.
But it's a hard one.
Yeah. All right. So my second question, Doc Rivers will not be fired after the season, even though if we lose in the playoffs. he will not be fired. He's going to stay.
I'm going to buy because I don't trust the Sixers ownership to fire him. They are paying Doc Rivers so much money, and I just don't have that type of faith. I think what we have to think about is that if we lose this season, we're probably going to have James Harden for one more, right?
Yeah.
So if things go really, really, really bad, like it's a disaster, what I can see happening is we jump ship with Harden, we jump ship with Rivers, and try one more last type of plan to go all in before Embiid's time's over. That's what I can see. But I don't think that unless it goes really, really bad, they're going to fire Rivers. That's just the pessimistic side of me. I really don't like Rivers, but I'm going to buy that.
Okay. So this is a question about player. So Tobias Harris will have a massive hot season and then a hot streak, maybe for like 5 games. And then suddenly he's going to go cold for at least 10 games. Would buy or sell?
I'm going to sell only because the situation you proposed is very specific. I think that more likely what's going to happen to Tobias, he's going to start off really cold, and then he's going to gradually rise and play into shape in the second half of the season when he's going to become really good again. That's my Tobias Harris theory. It's happened a lot. But I'm going to say no because there's streaky things that happen with Tobias Harris, but it's not in that way.
Okay. So those are my questions about the Sixers. Ethan, you are national. So what are your national questions?
Number 1, buy or sell. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durrant, and Ben Simmons are all on the Nets come playoff time this season.
I am going to buy because I don't think teams are that interested in Kyrie Irving. They're not going to trade Durant, and I don't think they're going to trade Simmons. I think I'm going to buy it.
Really, I think Simmons could be an odd man out, but I mean, he's an
Maybe.
odd man out everywhere. But
I think he's staying.
okay. Number 2, Jimmy Butler shoots over 25% from 3. Here's a little bit of significance. Here's a bit of context. He shot 23% from 3 this season.
I'll buy on that as well because I think in the playoffs he shot a good percentage of threes, and I get he's not as good in the regular season, but he should be able to shoot over 25%. Like maybe just that was a bad year, but I'm gonna buy it.
Last one here. Buy or sell. Anthony Davis plays over 40 games.
I'm gonna sell. I think he's getting injured. I think he's getting injured in the first 20 games in that streak. I think he's getting injured. There's no way he plays over 40 games. He's more injury prone than Embiid, in my opinion.
Oh, by far.
I think he's probably one of the most injury prone players in the league.
He's the most.
Probably the most. You just can't stay healthy.
I mean, I think he'll get injured over 5 times this season alone. Like 5 separate injuries.
Yep, he will.
So that's kind of crazy. We're going to move on?
Yeah. So our next segment, we have the trivia question. Our trivia question, you guys can also comment down in the Sixers Standard at Instagram. And before I give you the question, we're going to shout out a winner from the last question, Chase Leibowitz.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. You got it. And also, Josh Kelly, you're just a tiny bit off him. Chase was a little bit quicker. It was a Jahlil Okafor question. His first season was in 2015, and he averaged 17 points per game as his rookie season. A pretty good rookie season, but traditional centers have died out in this NBA. That's why he's nowhere to be found. But anyways, our trivia question. So, Brian Colangelo was a GM for the Sixers. But after he was gone, who was hired as the GM of the Sixers once Colangelo got fired? Comment down.
Resigned.
Or resigned. Like once he left. Who was the general manager after him? we want you to comment down on our Instagram post. Our Instagram is at the Sixers Standard. Comment down, and we'll shout you out if you win. If you get it
No
right.
caps, no spaces on the Instagram, but yeah, make sure to comment. First one gets a shout out.
Yep. And we are going to go into our tidbits of the week. The tidbits. Ethan, you like finding stories? What have you found this week?
So our one tidbit of the week, I think like literally more than half of our tidbits have been from this guy. We love him, we know him. Sixers general manager Daryl Morey has apparently tried to fix baseball, and I think he failed. I'll read the tweet. This is Daryl Morey. Proposal for baseball. Whichever team is behind is the only one who bats until they tied or take the lead. When games are tied, everything proceeds as normal. Once the team behind comes back, then the team that gets back to bat proceeds from the last inning they had. And under that, he also tweeted, would eliminate a ton of not needed at-bats without changing who wins or loses. It's just a coincidence I am thinking of this right now.
No, that is not a good idea. It's just not good. It's just my opinion. Like, first of all, it's very complicated what he's trying to say. And I think baseball, how it's played the way it is right now, I think it's fine. I don't think there should be any change.
Yeah, I think that this might be a joke, but crumbling the game into little pieces to speed up the pace of play is a horrible idea. I love baseball. I've loved it for a while. I think you're starting to get into it. And,
starting to get into it again.
Yeah, so baseball is certainly not dead. A lot of people that love watching baseball. I'm currently watching every single baseball game. I'm a big St. Louis Cardinals fan out there. I do not miss a single game. It is great to watch. Don't miss a single pitch. But at the end of the day, pitching duels are great. You know what I'm saying? It's always great to see. That's actually some of the best of baseball when games are tied 0-0, 1-1, heading into the 8th inning. Will they take out the pitcher? Will they keep him in? You know what I'm saying? That's some of the best baseball, elite pitching. And, when teams can't get the pitchers. And honestly, what Morey is missing here is a lot of those pitcher duels are the faster games. Those are the games that are not slow, right? The offense-filled games, those are the ones that take the longest. So at the end of the day, like, every game shouldn't be close. Every game shouldn't be a tie. The reason why, not close games are so cool, you know what I'm saying? Why they're so good is because they're rarer. You know what I'm saying? It's because there's nuance. You want to have the blowouts too, because that makes the non-blowouts even cooler. That's my view. I don't know if it's a joke, but Daryl Morey, no, totally wrong.
No.
I like you as a GM, not as
baseball.
Rob Manfred, you're the only person I would rather have at the job than Daryl Morey. So take that as a compliment.
I don't like the idea. It's just no. I think baseball should be played at the pace it's at. Like, I do like pitcher duels and all that. Everything you agreed. Any final thoughts on the podcast?
I don't think so, but make sure to tune in next week. Hopefully we'll have some more news. Again, another great episode. And follow us on Instagram, YouTube. Make sure to watch, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All right. We'll see you guys on next episode. As Ethan said, I'm Noah Moskowitz, Ethan Koppelman. We will see you on the next Sixers Standard podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers. 10, 9, 8, 76ers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.